You're watching Bhutan This Week with me, Ishi Galton. Our top stories this week: His Holiness the J. Khenpo appoints Lum and Levis. Monetary and matrimonial cases topped judiciary cases last year. And Sangye Wangchuk wins Bhutan International Marathon for the 4th consecutive year. His Holiness the J. Khenpo appointed 6 new lums and leves. His Holiness also conferred Ta in Punakhazong on Tuesday.
49-year-old Nobu Gelsen was appointed as the principal of Sanga Chukur Thorim Sheda in Paro. Leki Tsring from Wandifoda is the new lum of Gonzo Chote in Thimpo. 35-year-old Kilne from Wandifoda was appointed as the Triku Lebe of Triku Jimi Jikten Wangchu. To help the principal with the daily affairs of Sanga Chukur Thorim Sheda in Paro, Dawa Norbu from Punakha will now serve as the vice principal of the Sheda. 37-year-old Sonam Choga will now take charge of the Ha Sheda as its new lum. And 51-year-old Lamke from Ha was appointed as the lum of Ha Getsol Haka. For Komal Kharka in Punakha, this is Pasa for BBS News.
To reflect the progress made towards empowerment of women, gender equality and women's human rights, the International Women's Day was celebrated in Thimphu on Wednesday. Her Majesty the Queen Mother Sangye Choren Wangchuk graced the event.
Coinciding with the day, Her Majesty the Queen Mother also graced the opening of the 3-day Second National Conference on Women in Governance, Leadership and Politics in Bhutan with regional dimension. Over 300 women and young girls listened to speakers talking about gender equality and issues related to women's rights. Women attending the day said it was inspiring to learn the support and opportunities that women in the country can enjoy.
The environment is really changing, and in a democratic setting, we are talking about inclusive society. We are talking about inclusiveness in anything, in all development fronts. So, women who forms half of the population cannot be now subject to the domestic front only. Now, a changing time, where women have to play equal role in public domains, and that's why the environment is changing, and women has to take part in all development spheres, not only in the home front.
I came to realize that women are not the weaker sex, and it was really inspiring to hear all the eminent speakers, the dignitaries speak, and knowing that we as women and as youth, we have the support of all the people around us, we have support of our leaders, and in the future we know that we as women, we can become leaders, we can become politicians, lawyers, doctors, and we have the capability to do anything.
I think I'm very much blessed and glad to be born as a woman, and that too in this country, because it's very inspiring for women. There are so many opportunities here, and it's not only men that can do things, but also women who can strive for the best. So I would like to say that it's very inspiring, and I aspire to be the best for myself also to attain that goal. And I would like to tell all the youth and women who are inspired just to know that we are strong and we can also be equal to men.
The theme this year is Women in the Changing World of Work, Planet 50-50 by 2030. It is to achieve gender equality by 2030. As a part of the celebration, the winners of the short film competition on women-related issues organized by Renew received cash prizes.
Gail, stay back, because Gail's film In My Boots was also the winner of the Jury Choice Award of 25,000 euros.
Sonam Choden for BBS News.
Regarding art as a medium of expression, young Bhutanese filmmakers presented short feature films conveying messages on social issues which are not discussed in open platforms. The films were presented at the Renew Film Festival on Saturday last week in the capital. Her Royal Highness Princess Yufalma Choden Wangchuk graced the film festival.
Artists as young as 17 years old were engaged in making films conveying strong messages on social issues that often remain in silence. The films expressed stereotypes and stigmas associated with social issues such as gender inequalities. The films also convey messages on sexual reproductive health and rights, domestic violence, and women empowerment.
Our film is based on the theme of sexual reproductive health and rights, which are not talked about in open. People find it awkward to talk about such issues in public. So, through the medium of film, we made this film to make youth aware of these issues.
Vienna cluster se dancing this jago media zora ngaji nalu anzumchi media nalu.
Our film, Behind the Closed Door, portraits domestic violence which remains within the closed wall of individual homes and not talked about. So we made this film to educate public on impacts of such issues.
Media nalu katibe kota penina anskoli insunila.
One of the biggest objectives through this festival is to have youths engaged, to have them talking on these very pertinent issues. We're talking about gender equality, we're talking about women empowerment, and we're talking about sexual reproductive health and rights. These are issues that most of us are talking about it, we are familiar about it, but we necessarily don't talk about it on a very public and open platform. So this film festival actually gives us an opportunity where we can engage with youth to learn about what their opinions and what their ideas are on these themes.
Society still view women in a very negative way. I would rather say that in a negative way only, because they still say that the woman's place is in the kitchen. So I think when such films are coming up, it is trying to portray that women can do more than that. Women can do more than being in the kitchen. So I think it is also trying to empower women that we should show the people what we can do, not just stick to the stigma, to all those that believe that women's place is in the kitchen.
The films, based on three broad themes of gender equality, women empowerment, and sexual and reproductive health, were judged by jury comprising of officials from relevant agencies. Best films from each category were also recognized and will be awarded prizes while observing International Women's Day. 8 short feature films were screened during the festival. Puk Game for BBS News.
The new rubber speed bumps at Lanchbhaka in Thimphu have become a cause of inconvenience for commuters. Thimphu Tromde fixed the breakers last month on a trial basis. The rubber speed bumps had replaced the conventional speed breaker in the area. As a result, most drivers use the narrow road just below the highway. But this has created another problem for the people living next to the alternate route. They say people drive by at a very high speed, which is dangerous.
It's like the highway is just outside our doorstep. The car passing by are always speeding. With our children playing around, I fear one day they might get hit by a car. Last time, a car nearly ran over a child.
Thimphu Tromde said, while they are aware of the new speed bumps being uncomfortable for motorists, they have not received any complaints from the residents nearby. Regarding the speed breakers, the office explained that they used a 3-inch speed bump and using a smaller one would solve the problem. However, there is no immediate plan for its replacement. Yishi Gelson, BBS News. Monetary and matrimonial cases are the top 2 court cases in the country registered last year. This is as per the Annual Judiciary Report 2016 released recently.
As per the report, over 4,400 monetary and matrimonial cases were registered. Since 2014, the two have been the most common cases heard by the courts in Bhutan. Judge Rinzin Benjer from the Supreme Court said since monetary cases include not just lending but also those involving financial institutions and others related to monetary payments, the number of such cases is relatively higher. For increasing matrimonial cases, he added it could be due to flexibility of laws.
If you had committed an offense of illicit affairs.
I thought maybe because Bhutanese society is very free, very liberal, and people think that they can do anything. So I think people are taking even family life as granted, and then that's why there are so many divorce cases. That's what one of the conclusions I came to.
Judges also say as the population of educated women increases, they are becoming more independent. Respect, educate, nurture and empower women, or RENEW officials say the number of cases related to matrimony could be more as some cases go unreported.
People have started taking, support from the private legal firms. They come to RENEW. Like 80% of cases that come to RENEW are all matrimonial cases. And we also got to hear from our volunteers in our the districts that they seek support from them, our volunteers, and they also go to the local leaders.
However, compared to 2015, both monetary and matrimonial cases registered with courts reduced drastically last year. As per the annual report, this is because the data on marriage certificates and other miscellaneous matters were recorded on a separate system. Changadoji, BBS News.
The airport parking fee, which started this month in Paro, has left many motorists frustrated. People complain that the cost of parking a car in the airport is high.
Drivers rushing to the airport just in the time when airplane lands and some arguing with parking fee collectors are common scene here in the airport. And this many say is because of exorbitant parking fee.
Parking fee is really high. For 1.5 hours, it costs 300 newton. They should charge, but not that expensive. I hope they decrease the rate.
Before 2 hours now.
When we come to get our guests, we should be here before 2 hours, and we'll have to pay around 400 newton. Sometimes the flight gets delayed, and we have to load their luggages. By then it reaches 600 to 700 newton, which is too expensive. It would be better if the rate is the same as in the town.
USD Enterprise, which provides the parking fee collection service, says the parking fee rate has to be decided by Department of Air Transport.
4 lakh 20
We have to pay 400,000 newton as rent and also pay 8,000 newton every month to each worker. However, it's not up to us to decide the fee. If the Department of Air Transport decides to reduce the fee, then we will automatically have to do it.
They justified that the people have options to park either in Zone 3, which costs 20 newton for 30 minutes, or in Zone 4, which is free of cost.
However, here we have an additional services which we are offering to our customers, which is the free parking zone. And the distance is not very far actually. From Zone 4 to the arrival terminal, it's only around 250 meters. And from Zone 4 to the departure terminal is only around 120 meters. So therefore, even if you have to walk from the free parking, actually it's not much. And some of the passengers, what they do is like people who come to receive, they park their cars in Zone 4 and they go up to receive the passengers, and from there they push their trolleys right down to Zone 4, they load in their car and they go from there. So whereby you don't pay any fee for that.
He says the airport even has a drop zone at the departure terminal if people do not want to pay for parking. Moreover, the department is planning to extend the parking area at the arrival terminal, which will also be free. The department has classified the parking areas into 4 zones. Vehicles parking at Zone 1, which is near the arrival terminal, will be charged the highest at 100 Ngtum for 30 minutes. However, heavy vehicles will have to pay an additional 50 Ngtum. And vehicles will not have to pay parking fee at Zone 4, which is little away from the airport. For Sangachizum in Paro, Pup Game for BBS News.
Prevention and early detection are the best strategies for reducing incidences of chronic kidney diseases. This, according to health officials, is considering the dearth of organ donors and expensive dialysis treatment. So, to educate the public on preventing such diseases, Bhutan Kidney Foundation, in partnership with the Health Ministry, observed the World Kidney Day in Thimphu on Thursday.
Obesity is one of the leading causes of chronic kidney diseases in the country. Obesity increases the risk of developing diabetes and hypertension, which leads to chronic kidney disease and end-stage renal disease. Health officials said over 100,000 Bhutanese are overweight and 21,000 obese.
So obesity is a direct cause of diabetes, hypertension, then kidney-related damages, and so many other causes. But being specific with kidney is mostly because of obesity, leading to diabetes, obesity relating to hypertension, that is blood pressure, that is causing kidney diseases. So these things are preventable. These things are mostly to do with lifestyle-related diseases.
He added chronic kidney diseases once developed are not curable. If not detected early, it could lead to kidney failure, which requires dialysis treatment or kidney transplant.
I was admitted at the National Referral Hospital first, then they took me to Kolkata for the transplant. I had to wait for more than a year to get a donor. It was difficult.
In the last 2 years, 21 kidney patients were sent abroad for treatment. It cost the Health Ministry over 20 million Ngtum. Pup Game for BBS News.
34-year-old Pemba is the new GUP-elect of Tangchu Geok in Wandipodra. 3 aspiring candidates took part in the by-election conducted Monday this week.
Pemba, who has already served as the Geok's Mangmi, is from Tashidinka Zimichiok. He secured more than 50% of the total votes cast. Of the 1,162 registered voters in the Geok, a little over 900 turned up to exercise their franchise. The post remained vacant for more than 3 months after the former GUP resigned and left for studies abroad.
Without a GUP, it was difficult getting approvals for loans and various other works. I felt bad when people used to say that Tangchu does not have a GUP. But today, with the election conducted, we are happy.
The Election Commission will officially declare the result tomorrow. For Komal Kharka in Wandipodra, this is Pasa for BBS News.
A young entrepreneur's business startup introduces a technology in the country that can manufacture customized Bhutanese fabrics and products using a factory-based machine. The production officially started from 8th of this month.
A civil engineer graduate, Hakpatsring, came across the factory-based machine while studying in India last year. Almost immediately, he started working on setting up the business with which he hopes to substitute import of embroidered fabrics in the country. From intricate to richly colored patterns, the machine is capable of stitching on clothes the country's traditional embroidery. The designs are first created on a computer.
At the moment, most of our embroidered clothes are imported. So with the setting up of the machine here in the country, I can provide products at a cheaper rate and at the same time preserve and promote traditional patterns.
While pursuing his dream, he has also created employment opportunities. Currently, there are 3 youth working for him, of which 2 are university graduates.
It's difficult to get jobs these days. I'm training them to use the machine with the knowledge I gained during my 3-month-long course. I hope in future they will teach others as well and be able to earn a decent living.
The factory based in Thimphu was set up at a cost of 5 million Newton. This is Pasa for BBS News.
32-year-old Sangye Wangchuk from the Royal Bhutan Army won the Bhutan International Marathon for the 4th consecutive time this year. Most oppositions were taken by Bhutanese, followed by participants from Japan.
The annual Bhutan International Marathon for the 42.2 kilometers flagged off from Siriga in Punakha and for 21.1 kilometers from Potokha. Participants of both the categories ran through Punakha Suspension Bridge via Kurutha and finished at Punakha Zone. Yashi Ukahara from Japan won the half marathon in men's open category, followed by Sia Shigano also from Japan. Dechen Ugen from the Royal Bodyguards came third. In women's open category, Goma Pradhan from Bhutan came first in half marathon. The local champion Sangye Wangchuk came first in the full marathon men's open category but could not break his old record. He finished the 42.2 kilometer race within 2 hours and 40 minutes. Sangye Wangchuk was followed by Nima Yuzer and Kile Gyaltsen, both from the Royal Bhutan Army. And in full marathon women's open category, Chimi Dema from Bhutan stood first. This year, 490 participants from across the world took part in the competition. The marathon is organized annually by Bhutan Olympics Committee. For Komal Kharka in Punakha, this is Sunam Pim for BBS News.
That's all for this time. Thank you for watching.